Yikes. When it rains, it pours, huh? Is that how you use that phrase? Oh. Hey. What up, what up? Welcome back. What? Oh, this? Well, you remembered, right? Dang. Well, I asked him to help me make this doodad right here. Why? Well, what's more immersive than being inside the game, right? Now that I think about it, I don't know if I should be inside the TV while it's raining and stuff. Nah, I'll be fine. Okay. So, what does immersion feel like to you? To me, it feels like whatever it is you're reading stops feeling like a book, or the game you're playing stops feeling like a game. It's almost like a flow state. I ask what immersion feels like to you because I think it's subjective, especially for games. Top-down games are probably not as interesting as some players who love first-person games. And I know plot holes don't bother those who don't catch them. But in the many ways you can immerse yourself in a game, I'm talking about mood, tension, and pulling the sickest clutch of your life. I think I, and a lot of you out there, find that being able to solve problems your own way is immersive. Why? This right here is a glue gun, a weapon from the very underrated Prey 2017. The glue gun is a weapon that if aimed at the Typhon, aka the alien threat, aka World of Goo, aka Venom, it'll freeze these things with enough shots for you to kill in a variety of ways. But if not aimed at the Typhon, you can use the hard foam that comes out of it to barricade areas, close pipes, and even scale walls. This might give you access to a hidden entryway to a room you didn't know you can get in. In Prey, if you look around, you might find a vent you could slide through, or a door you could hack, or a terminal you could shoot at through a window to unlock the room from the outside. Almost every object in this game is either lootable, throwable, or movable. And it's cool because if you actually try to think outside the box, you get rewarded. Dude, if I spent my neural mods on leverage 3, I'd probably be in there by now. It's cool. I'll just find some more neural mods and, wait. I got an idea. Prey 2017 is what we call an immersive sim. Games like Dishonored, Hitman, Bioshock, and Days X, just to name a few, are all a part of this genre that encourages player freedom by basically letting you solve most of your problems in any way that the tools that are given to you allow you to. I'm gonna be honest, I'm incredibly new to the genre, Prey being my first, but I played games that share similar aspects that wouldn't be called immersive sims, and you might have too. Baldur's Gate 3 for an example. The immersive sim genre has a lot of detail put into what you can do with what's around you. Like for Baldur's Gate 3, what's around you acts like an extension of your abilities. You could get Gale to cast water on an enemy, but Karlach is right next to a barrel that she could throw. Then you could use Gale to use electricity on the enemy, and we call that two birds. But you being able to freely choose how to use the environment usually comes with the trade-off of not knowing where to go, because you're allowed to be wherever. So how do these games with stories and objectives direct the player? Spoiler alert, it's really cool. In Prey, it is as simple as this is where you gotta go to progress the story. But on the way there, you can find tools, lore, and even places that you might have to visit in a future objective. There is as much, if not more, detail put into aspects of Talos 1 that don't directly move the story forward. But in Zelda, on the other hand, one of your first objectives when you start off the game is to go across the small sky islands in basically whatever way you please, and collect abilities that you will be able to use with the Ultra Hand. This basically gives you more ways to traverse the starting islands in whatever way you please. These abilities give you the opportunity to solve your problems in a broad array of ways throughout the entire game. It's similar to Prey in that aspect. This is supposed to be a tutorial, but there is no notification telling you how to traverse the island, just where to go. One of the first temples that you gotta reach is actually across this river. There aren't many ways to cross this river, and you have to probably do something annoying. But if you look to your left, I think it's the left. I'm not actually checking while I'm recording, so. But if you look to your left, you'll find sails and logs. These logs and sails, along with the new skill that you were just given, can make a boat to cross this river. So it seems like this river was another lesson on how to use your ability. The devs wanted to make sure you understood the ability that you just got and its capabilities, and they put you in a real world scenario. And to do that, they bottlenecked your ability to progress to show you something specific. They got you familiar with the mechanic while also showing you that there's another tool that you can use to solve your problems. Tell me that isn't genius. In Elden Ring, it's kind of similar. There's a point of interest that you're almost subconsciously guided towards through indicators, NPCs, landmarks, and even obstacles. These places always usually lead you to the opportunity of more adventure, which usually turns out to be the way you needed to progress the story anyway. This illusion of choice usually leads you to this bottle cap that in Elden Ring it's as literal as boss fights, granting you access to new areas, and in Zelda, it's your ability to creatively use the environment by using the tools you were given. So we know that this aspect of gameplay is engaging, but what else about these three games makes them immersive? Because they're like completely different. Well, let's take a deeper look, shall we? Baldur's Gate 3 has over 500 distinct items. Tears of the Kingdom has 251 unique materials with 228 different food items with varying recipes. And there are other categories that I'm not mentioning, but for the most part, all of these items in both of these games have specific properties and functions that interact with your tools and each other. Imagine having to program an item that has an elemental property to it that can be used to cook multiple combinations of food items with different levels of effectiveness that can also be fused to your weapon for bonus damage and environmental effects. It's crazy to think that all these unique items can be found in the in-game world and have different levels of complexity to the way you can use them. Prey 2017 does something kind of similar, but completely different at the same time. How do we feel about skill trees? When it comes to skill trees, I feel like for most games, they're all the same. You gain new abilities that change the way you can kill enemies or traverse the map, and they usually don't affect the in-game world too much. But in Prey, you won't go far without finding a reason why you should spend your next few points on dismantle or hacking. Things all around you have so many different requirements that you gotta think hard about what you want to spend your next points on. A lot of skill trees have skills that are obviously better than others. But for Prey, there are times when you need this skill at this level or that skill at that level all the time. And I think the reason why it doesn't frustrate me personally is because, like the other two games I mentioned, it's up to you if you want to repair this robot or see what's behind these crates or not. That, or maybe there's another way of getting what you want. You just gotta think a little outside the box. All the little things you can interact with in the world are intentional, and the way you interact with them is pretty broad. It makes me think about the process of designing over 500 different items and putting them across your in-game world. These items can be found at different densities and rarities, and I just wonder how they decide to put these things for the player here for some players to not even think about it. Like me personally, I do not use like explosive barrels. I don't know if this is kind of a tangent, but I don't use those. But for games as detailed as these, it makes me feel like the world of the game has been lived in and messed with long before you got there. The Typhon, which is an alien species that has basically taken over the spaceship Talos 1, has, before you got there, basically killed almost everybody on the ship. But in their efforts to survive, passengers would board themselves up with crates or cargo or glue. And whenever you feel like it, you can knock it down and see what's inside. However, the alien species themselves are shapeshifters too. So whenever you manage to make your way into a room that was completely barricaded with a dead body laying on the floor, maybe not, try to pick up everything you see. Like, look at this place. So much detail. You can loot almost anything in here too. Oh? Well, I'll be. This is Game of the Year material. So I was watching this documentary on the development of Prey, and to me, the way the game is designed is in a way that seems almost impossible to come up with by yourself. Like Baldur's Gate and Zelda, there are so many tangents of exploration you can go on, and they all cycle back usually to the main narrative. There's emails and logs all over Talos 1 and Baldur's Gate that, paired with the fact that these worlds are super detailed and highly interactable, makes me constantly feel like there's more than what meets the eye.
World architect standpoint, you just create your world, and all your designers are involved, your level designers, and as they know the full story, and as you work with each of them independently, then they go deeper into detail and they start putting notes on the computers that reflect some of the policies that the space station has or something, and that actually is linked to somehow site content, etc., etc. And that's how you go, like, layer by layer. You're really painting that huge frame, that huge painting, one detail at a time, until it brings this like cohesive magic world.
Like, can you imagine that though? Like, even with the team of 50, that is a lot of content and subtle storytelling for players like me to not read. But are we ready for a game theory though? Are we? My theory of why this specific type of game genre is immersive, to me at least, is because it has a similar type of progression to real life in a way. While watching a movie or playing a game, have you ever thought, see, if I was there, that could never happen to me, Look, this is what I would do. Well, I like these games because you might actually be able to do that. Like real life, there's obstacles and limitations that you have to overcome to get the reward you want, and it's up to you on how you get it. Think outside the box, use the tools you were given, and if you're not strong enough or smart enough, try again later. I don't think this is as philosophical as I'm making it seem, but solving problems with the tools you were given in any way that gets the job done, and you're in a world filled with plenty of things that you could use to your disposal, if you get your hands on it, I'd say that's like real life. But here's the thing. I still don't think that's what makes a game immersive. Some games are more cinematic and they've captured audiences and me just the same or even more. Me personally though, I think I found my type of game. Prey and Baldur's Gate has been one of the most fun I've had playing a game, maybe even ever. It's kind of crazy, but I know a lot of people won't play Baldur's Gate or haven't played Prey, so this whole spiel we went on today kind of makes me think that immersion has almost nothing to do with the game mechanics or its non-linearity, but its ability to connect with the individual's personal taste. Because this might be my personal cup of tea, but you might think this is whack. I personally couldn't get into turn-based games, and then I played Stick of Truth, and now, they're good. Anyway, that's it. Yeah. Link, I'm telling you, bro, you shouldn't have seen it. It was this big. Oh, shoot. When it rains. Sorry. Hello everybody. Welcome to the end card. If you're new, we do this every time, except for the times that I don't do it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thanks for watching. We've reached the end. I have a couple of things I want to say. Number one, thank you for 800 subscribers. What is this? Number two, I'm so sorry. This video took very long and it's kind of buns. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I'm working on school stuff. I just, I gotta set that stuff up. FAFSA's not hitting me back. What's going on with that? I changed living spaces. No, not living space. I'm living in a new spot. I'm living in a new place. I had to do that. I drove for like, you know what? Let's not talk about it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm just keep it brief. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for 800. Thanks. Anyway, I'm out. Love ya. Bye.